After my rebirth, my whole family could hear my inner thoughts. Should I tell Dad? The adopted son he protects so fiercely is actually Mom's illegitimate child. I saw Dad's hand tremble when he held that bastard's hand, suddenly shaking. Or maybe I shouldn't tell my second sister either. Mom intentionally raised her to be a useless bum. I looked at my second sister, who was engrossed in her game. Her phone suddenly felt burning hot in her hands. If my eldest sister found out that her legs were crippled because Mom hired someone to run her over, would she be devastated? I saw my eldest sister sitting in her wheelchair. Every strand of her hair looked like it was smoking with rage. I'm so conflicted. If they knew everything Mom did was just so she could marry her childhood sweetheart. I noticed the way the whole family looked at Mom had changed. In my past life, I only argued with our adopted son a few times, and Mom ruthlessly pushed me out of a 13th floor window. After I died, my soul didn't immediately dissipate. Instead, I turned into a wandering spirit, always following right beside Mom. That's how I learned all her secrets. She only married Dad to climb the social ladder. In reality, she already had a man she loved. She even gave birth to a son for him, and that was Song Jingnian. Ever since Mom married Dad, she had been scheming to seize our family's assets for herself, so she could build a wealthy, happy family with the man she loved and her precious son. But unexpectedly, I was reborn right on the day Mom brought Song Jingnian home to adopt him. Jingnian, hurry up and greet your father. Mom led Song Jingnian to Dad, urging him eagerly. Song Jingnian didn't dare look anyone in the eye. He looked like a frightened little deer. His arm, accidentally exposed, was covered in whip marks. It was exactly this harmless, enduring appearance that made Dad feel instant pity for him. From then on, Dad treated him like his own flesh and blood, even better than me, afraid he'd suffer any grievances. Just as Dad reached out to hold Song Jingnian's hand. What should I do? Should I tell Dad? That Song Jingnian is actually Mom's illegitimate son. I saw Dad's hand, which was holding Song Jingnian's, suddenly tremble. He looked around and finally locked eyes with me. I blinked, looking at him with an innocent expression. Dad frowned, thinking he was hallucinating. Next, Song Jingnian is going to lean on Dad's shoulder, crying pitifully to win Dad's sympathy. The very next second, I saw Song Jingnian throw himself into Dad's arms and start sobbing uncontrollably. In my past life, Dad was deeply moved and gently comforted Song Jingnian, but at this moment, he couldn't cry at all. His eyes were fixed entirely on me, Lu Huai. Were you saying something? No, I'm not, I denied. Right after, my inner voice echoed. I can't let Dad know I've been reborn. He'd definitely treat me like a monster. Dad's eyes widened like saucers. His face was full of disbelief. At this moment, Mom stepped forward, pretending to be kind, and consoled Song Jingnian. Jingnian, stop crying. From now on, this is your home. She turned to me. Lu Huai, take Jingnian to see his room. I agreed out loud, but inwardly muttered, in a moment, Song Jingnian is going to fall down the stairs and claim I pushed him. Sure enough, halfway up with me, he suddenly tumbled down the stairs. Mom immediately rushed over and hugged Song Jingnian. She asked anxiously, Jingnian, what's wrong? Don't blame brother Lu Huai. I slipped and accidentally fell down the stairs, Song Jingnian said in pain. Mom immediately scolded me sternly. Lu Huai Jingnian is your younger brother now. How could you target him like this? Have we spoiled you too much since you were little, making you think you can get away with anything? Dad walked over at this moment, clearly not as agitated as Mom. Seeing Dad, Song Jingnian hurriedly said, Dad, please don't scold my brother. I know he just can't accept my presence yet. After all, he used to be the only son in the house. I can understand him. In my past life, Song Jingnian acted exactly like this, successfully making Dad prejudiced against me, making him think I had no compassion. After that, Song Jingnian pushed his luck and kept framing me, making Dad increasingly disappointed in me, until he only doted on him. This time I thought to myself, I'm doomed. I'm so doomed. I'm about to get punished by Mom and Dad again. No matter how I explain, they won't listen. It's best if I just keep my mouth shut. I saw the way Dad looked at me. It carried a hint of guilt and sadness. The next moment, Dad swung a slap, landing hard on Song Jingnian's face, slapping him silly. I saw Mom standing there, frozen, unable to react in time. Dad roared furiously. I saw it very clearly just now. You threw yourself down, and you dare frame Lu Huai? No wonder you were adopted and then returned. Truly, hateful people have their pitiful aspects, and pitiful people have their hateful aspects. Adopting Song Jingnian was, of course, Mom's decision. Mom said that while doing charity work at the orphanage, she saw a very pitiful little boy. He had been adopted before, but was abused by that family. She couldn't bear it and wanted to bring him home. She also said I was the only son in the house. Bringing him back would give me a companion. Dad couldn't withstand Mom's coaxing, so he agreed. Originally, Mom and Song Jingnian had prepared everything meticulously. Unexpectedly, they were exposed on the very first day. It was obvious that Mom intentionally blocked Dad's view just now, worried he'd see the truth. Song Jingnian was so terrified by Dad that he panicked. He could only look to Mom for help. Mom hurriedly explained, Jingnian has always been abused and lacks a sense of security, so maybe he's having hallucinations about certain things. It's all a misunderstanding. Look at you, making such a big deal out of it. Don't scare the child. Dad was about to expose Mom's scheme when he suddenly heard my inner voice. If he exposes Mom now, not only will she deny it, but it'll also alert the snake in the grass. After all, Mom currently holds a lot of shares in the company. Dad was slightly taken aback. Needless to say, in my heart, my two sisters would definitely side with Mom too. Normally, Mom plays the loving mother. Dad plays the strict disciplinarian. If this really blows up, who knows? My sisters might even help Mom. Dad fell silent, probably feeling that my words made sense. He tried hard to suppress his anger and told Mom and Song Jingnian something like this, I don't want to see it happen a second time. Song Jingnian nodded obediently, still looking like he'd suffered the world's greatest injustice. Uncle Wu, take him to his room. Dad directly instructed the butler. Uncle Wu hurriedly led Song Jingnian upstairs. Mom originally wanted to explain more to Dad. Her goal, of course, was to make Dad quickly accept and love Song Jingnian. But this time, Dad took my hand and walked right past Mom without looking back. Mom looked completely bewildered, staring at Dad's retreating back. Normally, she just had to coax Dad a little, and he'd be beaming with joy. Why was he suddenly ignoring her now? I turned my head to look at her and couldn't help but let out a cold smile. Does she not realize her good days are about to end? Dad took me back to my room. He looked at me seriously. Lu Huai, tell Dad, do you know something about your mother? My expression was full of innocence as I hurriedly shook my head. I don't know anything, but inwardly, I muttered, I can't say it. If I do, Dad will be devastated. In my past life, I caught Mom with another man. When I told Dad, he said I was too young to be making things up. He even said I had no compassion, that just because Mom doted on Jingnian a little more, I wanted to stir up trouble. I'm so scared Dad won't love me anymore. I saw Dad's eyes instantly turn red, filled with heartache and guilt. He said, Lu Huai, you are my son. In this life, I care about you the most, and you respect and love me the most. I was deeply moved. I walked over and hugged him tightly. Dad didn't force me to say anything else. It's just that afterward, I could clearly feel Dad's distance toward Mom and Song Jingnian. Whenever Song Jingnian tried to suck up to Dad, Dad would ignore him. When Mom tried to be affectionate with Dad, Dad was also cold and indifferent. Even though Dad rarely went to the company normally, he started going much more frequently lately. I saw that Mom and Song Jingnian were starting to get anxious. After dinner, they hid in a corner, whispering to each other. Song Jingnian said, Mom, didn't you say that man was easy to please? But no matter what I do, he's always cold to me. Why is that? Mom replied. I don't know what's going on either. It's like he's turned into a completely different person. Maybe he's hitting menopause. His temper is erratic. Just ignore him. Tomorrow, your second sister comes home for winter break. She's brainless. Just win her over first. Song Jingnian promised Mom he'd soon replace Lu Huai's position in this house. Once I become the one everyone in the family dotes on, then seizing this family's assets will be as easy as flipping my hand. By then, we can bring Dad over to enjoy a good life. Mom instructed, don't worry, Lu Huai is just a useless kid raised in a greenhouse. How could he be my match? I'll quickly win the whole family's favor. Song Jingnian was full of confidence. In my past life, it was indeed like that. Not only did I not guard against Song Jingnian, but under Mom's brainwashing, I even treated him like a real brother. But he schemed against me at every turn, making the whole family think I was petty until they only valued him. But in this life, he won't have that luxury anymore. The next day, my second sister, Lu Mengjiao, came home for winter break. She was a chubby girl weighing 100 kilograms. She never exercised and only liked eating junk food. She didn't study either, just played games all day. Even the university she attended was bought with money. In the eyes of outsiders, my second sister was a complete loser. Dad also didn't expect my second sister to turn out like this. But at that time, he had really poured too much effort into educating my eldest sister, Lu Wangqing. My second sister was mainly Mom's responsibility. Mom always told her, your eldest sister is already shouldering the family's burdens. You just need to be a wealthy young lady. Living a carefree life is enough. Gradually, my second sister completely lost all ambition, spending her days eating, doing nothing, and waiting to die. Second sister Song Jingnian was the first to step forward and welcome her. He proactively leaned close to my second sister's ear. I heard Mom say your favorites are French fries, fried chicken, and spicy chicken feet. I bought them all and put them in your room. I even bought the Coke you like to drink. Don't tell Dad, okay? I saw the surprise in my second sister's eyes. Dad didn't allow these things in the house. Every time she came home, he'd even check her luggage, giving her absolutely no chance to eat that stuff. In the past, it was always Mom who secretly bought them for her. Now, it was Song Jingnian. I could clearly feel that my second sister instantly developed a huge liking for Song Jingnian, until she heard my inner voice. Watching my second sister and Song Jingnian acting so close, I pouted and muttered inwardly, second sister is already this fat, and she still wants to eat that junk food? Does she really want to be a fatty for the rest of her life? I saw my second sister's fleshy, smiling face suddenly freeze. She turned her head and stared at me, her eyes wide. Even a 3-year-old knows that eating too much junk food is bad for you. Has she never thought about why Mom and Song Jingnian keep pushing her to eat these things? What are you talking about? My second sister asked me angrily. I didn't say anything. My face was full of innocence. My second sister was also a bit surprised, because she really didn't see me open my mouth. But the very next moment she heard my voice again. Maybe I shouldn't tell second sister. She's being intentionally raised by Mom to be a useless bum. My second sister's eyes looked at me with even more shock. I continued speaking in my mind. But second sister will really end up eating so much junk food that she gets esophageal cancer. By the time she dies, she'll be nothing but skin and bones. My second sister's eyes widened, staring at me in utter disbelief. I turned around and walked away, thinking as I walked, just let second sister be close to Mom and Song Jingnian. Anyway, now that Song Jingnian is here, she won't love me anymore. Lu Huai, my second sister called out to me. I turned my head. What's wrong, second sister? My second sister hesitated for a moment, perhaps for a split second, wondering if she was hallucinating. She said, I brought a gift for you. Before Song Jingnian came to this house, I was the one everyone doted on. Everyone in the family spoiled me. Even this rebellious second sister was no exception. I slowly walked over. My second sister handed me a pair of limited edition sneakers. Do you like them? Yes, I nodded, but not very enthusiastically. Muttering inwardly, she's so nice to me now, but soon enough, she'll only be nice to Song Jingnian. Even these shoes will be snatched by Song Jingnian. How could that be? I bought these for you. My second sister had just opened her mouth. Song Jingnian suddenly interjected. Wow, I've never seen such beautiful sneakers in my entire life. It feels like I'm dreaming. My second sister looked at Song Jingnian with a bit of annoyance. Song Jingnian, with a face full of admiration, said, Brother Lu Huai is so lucky. Second sister is so good to you. If I had a cool pair of shoes like this to wear while playing basketball, I'd definitely be the happiest guy in the world. In my past life, Song Jingnian used this exact innocent and pitiful act to win over my second sister. She generously told me to give the sneakers to Song Jingnian, saying she'd buy me another pair later to make up for it. But in reality, after I gave them to Song Jingnian, my second sister never bought me another pair. All her doting on me was stolen by Song Jingnian. At this moment, I didn't wait for my second sister to speak. I directly handed the shoes to Song Jingnian. If you like them, take them. I thought to myself, anyway, if I don't give them to him, second sister will just persuade me to yield to him. I don't want to put her in a tough spot. Song Jingnian's face lit up with joy. Really? Thank you, brother, right then. I remembered. He's going to intentionally dirty the shoes, and then frame me for it, just like in my past life. I placed the shoebox in his hands. The moment I let go, the shoebox plummeted straight to the ground. The shoes inside rolled out, landing right in a nearby mud puddle. At the same time, Song Jingnian let out a tragic wail. Such beautiful shoes. How did they get dirty? These are the shoes I've dreamed of since I was little. He looked aggrieved as he questioned me. Brother, even if you didn't want to give them to me, you shouldn't have intentionally thrown them on the ground after saying that. He hurriedly looked at my second sister. Second sister! Please don't blame him. I'm sure he didn't mean it. Why would I blame Lu Huai? My second sister looked genuinely confused. The way she looked at Song Jingnian even carried a hint of disgust. Song Jingnian was a bit flustered and couldn't understand it either. He had calculated that at this moment, my second sister would reprimand me, calling me petty, but he didn't expect her to ask such a question in return, making the lines he had prepared get stuck in his throat. You couldn't catch the shoes, so it's your fault. If anyone's to blame, it's you. Why would I blame Lu Huai? It's because when he handed them to me, he intentionally threw them on the ground, Song Jingnian explained meekly. I hurriedly acted magnanimous. It's okay, I won't hold it against you. You dare hold it against him? What right do you have to hold anything against anyone? You did something wrong, and not only do you show no remorse, you even try to sow discord. What kind of malicious intentions do you have? My second sister yelled loudly. Song Jingnian was scolded so badly his face turned beet red. Who allowed you into my house? Get out right now. Go back to wherever you came from. This house doesn't welcome you. Saying that, my second sister was about to physically drag Song Jingnian away. Song Jingnian was so terrified he screamed miserably. Mom originally wanted to give Song Jingnian some private space to win over my second sister, so she intentionally stayed out of the room. Dad had also gone to the company and hadn't returned yet. Hearing the commotion, Mom hurriedly ran out. What's going on? Lu Mengjiao, how could you treat your younger brother like that? Mom said sternly. My second sister screamed at Mom. He's not my brother. Lu Huai is my brother. This thing you brought back. Take him away right now. What crazy nonsense are you spouting? Now that he's in our house, he's a member of this family. You're this old, yet you're still so unreasonable. Mom scolded, then pulled Song Jingnian close to her side. Your brother even went out of his way to prepare snacks for you, risking getting caught by your dad just to buy them for you. And yet, you're being so ungrateful. When Mom took the bag of snacks, I saw my second sister so furious she was speechless. She wanted to yell and argue with Mom. At that exact moment, she suddenly heard my inner voice again. Don't say anything, second sister. I wouldn't argue with Mom right now. Arguing is useless anyway. She brought Song Jingnian home just to steal our family's assets. Second sister should work hard to change herself right now and eventually catch Mom completely off guard. My second sister froze. The words she was about to say were swallowed back down. She just dropped one sentence. Anyway, my only brother is Lu Huai. Saying that, my second sister dragged me away, leaving Mom and Song Jingnian staring at each other in bewilderment. Their faces were full of confusion. No matter how hard they thought, they couldn't figure out why our whole family had suddenly become so smart. Why couldn't they fool us anymore? Back in my second sister's room, she angrily threw away the entire bag of snacks Song Jingnian had prepared. As if remembering something else, she also uninstalled all the games on her phone. After doing all that, she suddenly looked at me and asked me seriously, Lu Huai, did I disappoint you a lot in the past? I hurriedly shook my head to encourage her. Not at all. I know second sister is the best. In my mind, I didn't forget to add, second sister was just tricked by Mom, that's all. I know she's very smart. She'll definitely become a very outstanding person in the future. My second sister smiled. Looking a bit touched, she said, Lu Huai, second sister will definitely work her hardest to become an outstanding person from now on. I promise I won't let anyone bully you in the future, okay? I believe you, second sister. I nodded vigorously. The first thing my second sister did after coming home was go to the hospital for a full checkup. Then she hired a personal trainer and made a weight loss plan. Besides losing weight, my second sister picked up her books again. She hired a tutor and started relearning everything from elementary school level. She spent her entire winter break studying and losing weight, leaving Mom and Song Jingnian completely dumbfounded. They obviously hadn't done anything yet. Why was it that ever since Song Jingnian came to this house, both Dad and my second sister had changed? Dad originally didn't go to the company, leaving everything for Mom to handle. Mom was just a tiny bit away from winning over everyone in the company and becoming the one with real control. But as a result, the moment Dad showed up at the company, the shareholders and executives who had been wavering stopped giving Mom any face. Mom was so furious she could spit blood. I heard her secretly talking to Song Jingnian again. This time, there was clearly some dissatisfaction toward him. What is wrong with you? Didn't I tell you to come here and win over this family? Why have you messed everything up instead? This is getting further and further away from my plan. How am I supposed to bring your dad here to enjoy a good life like this? Mom's voice was full of reproach. I don't know either. I did everything you taught me, but none of them believe me. Song Jingnian was so aggrieved he started crying. Mom didn't know where things went wrong either. She was a bit irritable and directly decided to make a final gamble. Your eldest sister is coming home for the new year soon. She's the one who trusts me the most. You have to make her the most grateful to you. Don't worry about the others anymore. They're all useless anyway. Your eldest sister is the sole heir to this family. Yes. This time, I'll definitely perform well. I'll definitely make eldest sister like me, Song Jingnian promised. Perhaps he was also a bit unwilling to accept defeat. He always felt he was better than me at everything. Better at reading people's expressions, better at presenting himself. How could he not win the whole family's affection? In my past life, when Mom threw me off the rooftop, he even mocked me, saying he only needed to use one finger to make me lose absolutely everything. That year, after I accidentally fell off the rooftop and died on the spot, my dad and my two sisters were actually very heartbroken. It's just that not long after, they were bewitched by Song Jingnian's sweet words, and shortly after that, all of them were wiped out by Mom and Song Jingnian. Thinking of the events from my past life, I gritted my teeth tightly. This time, it's time for Mom and Song Jingnian to face their retribution. A week before the new year, my eldest sister, Lu Wangqing, returned from abroad where she was recovering. Half a year ago, my sister's car suddenly lost its brakes, causing a very serious traffic accident. Dad and I were traveling abroad, and my second sister was at home playing games. Mom was the first one to rush to my eldest sister's side. I heard it was raining heavily at the time. The roads had caved in, and the ambulance couldn't reach the accident scene immediately. It was Mom who carried my sister on her back, walking for several kilometers before getting her into the ambulance. The entire process was even photographed by passers-by. Everyone praised the greatness of a mother's love. Our whole family also felt a deeper affection for Mom. But the truth was, that accident was caused by someone Mom hired. Because my eldest sister was the family's heir, Mom wanted her dead as soon as possible. If my eldest sister died and my second sister was a useless bum, I'd be the only one left. In Mom's eyes, I was very easy to deal with. She just needed to bring Song Jingnian home to replace my position. That way, ultimately, this family's fortune would rightfully end up right in the pockets of her and her son. But unexpectedly, after the accident, my sister didn't die on the spot. Mom originally had no intention of saving her, but as a result of being photographed by passers-by, she had no choice but to put on this bitter act. My eldest sister was rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. She finally survived, but her legs were crippled. Mom suggested my eldest sister go abroad for further treatment. She said the medical equipment abroad was more advanced and would help my eldest sister recover quickly. She even actively helped my eldest sister contact the best private hospital. The result was predictable. Half a year passed. My eldest sister's legs showed no signs of improvement. Eldest sister, you're finally back. I've missed you so much. Song Jingnian ran up to my eldest sister, smiling as brightly as a social butterfly. He said, I used to always hear Mom talk about you, saying you were mature, steady, beautiful, and open-minded. Truly, hearing about it 100 times isn't as good as seeing it once. You're much younger and more beautiful than I imagined. Because of her crippled legs, my eldest sister had become very insecure, even a bit reclusive. There was a period of time when Dad and I frequently flew abroad to visit her, but she always kicked us out. She didn't want to see anyone. The only person she'd see was Mom. In the end, we didn't even dare to visit her anymore. Now, Song Jingnian's proactive approach clearly made my eldest sister a bit uncomfortable, but she seemed unable to resist his enthusiasm. His eyes were filled with joy at meeting her. Eldest sister, you've been on a plane for so long. Are you tired? Let me massage your back. Saying that, he eagerly started massaging my eldest sister's back, constantly asking if she was comfortable. I knew you were coming back, so I specifically went to learn massage. The teacher even taught me how to massage legs to improve blood circulation. Now that you're back, I'll massage you every day, okay? I saw my eldest sister looking a bit shy, but ultimately, she happily accepted. This time, I didn't have any inner thoughts. Just let Song Jingnian be smug. There's a great saying, the higher you climb, the harder you fall. If I don't let them taste a little sweetness, how can I drive them into a dead end in the end? After that, Song Jingnian quickly won over my eldest sister. Originally, he was still a bit insecure about himself, but ever since he was accepted by my eldest sister, he strutted around like a peacock spreading its tail, becoming much more lively around the house. Mom was also very relieved. The son she had painstakingly cultivated for so many years, how could he be completely useless? How could he not even compare to me? So, they started unleashing their big moves. Song Jingnian's 15th birthday was scheduled to be held 2 days before the new year. Mom immediately took charge to throw Song Jingnian a grand birthday party at home, inviting all our relatives and friends, which was equivalent to officially introducing him to them. Dad didn't agree. Right now, he had absolutely no goodwill towards Song Jingnian. In fact, he felt extreme aversion. After all, no one is willing to raise their wife's illegitimate child. To avoid alerting the snake in the grass, Dad endured it. But Dad didn't participate at all in preparing for Song Jingnian's birthday party this time, leaving it entirely to Mom. Out of sight, out of mind. Mom, of course, was more than willing. She poured all her heart and soul into this birthday party. So on the day of Song Jingnian's birthday, many people came to the house. Mom had invited almost all our important relatives and friends to celebrate Song Jingnian's birthday. The massive villa became incredibly lively. Song Jingnian wore a very sharp white suit, walking beside Mom. Mom kept enthusiastically introducing Song Jingnian to everyone. Dad couldn't stand it, so he claimed he was busy and went back to his room. My second sister didn't come downstairs at all, using the excuse that she had to study. Only my eldest sister. Ever since the accident that crippled her legs, someone who had never attended a party actually showed up in the main hall for Song Jingnian. Song Jingnian walked a lap with Mom and then appeared in front of me. I was eating alone in the dessert area at the time. He chuckled and said, "Lu Huai, the suit I'm wearing was a gift from eldest sister. I heard it's really expensive. I love it so much. Do you think it looks good?" Song Jingnian spun around a few times in front of me, intentionally showing off. It was the same in my past life. He used this method to provoke my hatred toward him and then made himself look like a weak, helpless victim. Back then, I really did fall for his trick and argued fiercely with him, causing the whole family and even everyone attending the birthday party to criticize me for being unreasonable. This time, I couldn't be bothered to care about him. I just casually said, "It really is beautiful. It suits you very well. Are you jealous?" Song Jingnian, seeing that I didn't take the bait, continued to poke at me. "You're not jealous," I said generously. "Eldest sister has bought me plenty of nice suits in the past. Today is your birthday, so she bought you one. What's there to be jealous of? I thought you'd be upset. I heard you used to cling to eldest sister the most. These past few days, eldest sister wanted me to adapt to this family better, so she's been by my side quite a bit. I was worried you'd be upset. Good thing you're not. I misunderstood you. You don't rely on eldest sister that much after all." At this moment, my eldest sister happened to roll her wheelchair over. I don't know what Song Jingnian had been saying to my eldest sister these past few days. Regardless, my eldest sister had clearly developed a desire to protect Song Jingnian. Seeing us alone together, she was afraid I'd bully him, so she proactively came over. Song Jingnian, of course, had seen her. He intentionally said that part for my eldest sister to hear. He just wanted to tell my eldest sister that my feelings for her weren't as deep as his. "Didn't Mom say you just arrived at this house, so everyone should take extra care of you? Should I push my luck and act as entitled as you? Always wanting to hog eldest sister all to yourself?" I put on a confused face and asked him. Song Jingnian was a bit embarrassed by my words, but only for a second. Right after, he immediately grew thick-skinned and turned to accuse me. "Are you blaming me for stealing eldest sister away? But you clearly just said you didn't mind." As he spoke, he put on a deeply aggrieved look. Anyone who didn't know better would think I had done something to him. My eldest sister, seeing Song Jingnian so heartbroken, lowered her voice a bit. "What's going on?" "Nothing," Song Jingnian said pitifully. "I'll definitely be more mindful of my boundaries from now on. Lu Huai, please don't be mad, okay? I came to this house to join everyone, not to ruin things." Even hearing it for the second time, I still couldn't help but burst out laughing. Just how thick-skinned does Song Jingnian have to be to say something like that? The moment my eldest sister turned her head, he immediately hid his foot, then covered the torn part of his dress pants, exposing a bit of his thigh. Looking utterly devastated, he couldn't help but loudly question me. "Lu Huai, how could you treat me like this?" The minor conflict between me and Song Jingnian just now was only noticed by my eldest sister. And perhaps Mom too. Mom had prepared very thoroughly tonight. The moment Song Jingnian let out this shout, everyone in the hall was drawn to look over. Song Jingnian looked even more devastated, looking endlessly ashamed. My eldest sister hurriedly took off the suit jacket she was wearing and handed it to Song Jingnian. Song Jingnian took it aggrievedly and wrapped it tightly around his waist, looking like a frightened little deer, making people pity him. "What's going on?" Mom walked over at this moment. Song Jingnian trembled, not daring to say a word in front of so many people. "Lu Wangqing, what exactly happened?" Mom asked my eldest sister. My eldest sister spoke bluntly, not giving me an ounce of face, directly pinning all the blame on me. Lu Huai tore Jingnian's pants. "Lu Huai, how could you treat your brother like this? Today is his birthday. Can't you put aside your jealousy for once? For the past 15 years, he's never had a proper birthday. Never had a proper birthday? Then who was Mom celebrating birthdays with every year? A dog?" At this moment, whispers started spreading through the hall. "Lu Huai is really spoiled rotten. How could he humiliate Song Jingnian in public like that?" Regardless, Song Jingnian has stepped into this house, so he's a son of their family now. How could Lu Huai be so arrogant? I heard this kid, Song Jingnian, has had a really hard life. Everyone started criticizing me. I saw in Mom and Song Jingnyeon's eyes an unconcealable, smug smile flash by. They thought their evil scheme was about to succeed. I calmly started speaking to my eldest sister. No matter how I explain it now, it's useless, isn't it? Even the eldest sister I loved the most thinks that I intentionally stepped on Song Jingnyeon's pants. I saw my eldest sister stiffen slightly. She was clearly a bit confused. Why didn't she see me open my mouth to speak but still heard my voice? I continued speaking. Actually, it's fine if I'm falsely accused, but I really don't want eldest sister to be kept in the dark by Mom about everything. If eldest sister knew that her legs were crippled because Mom hired someone to run her over, would she be devastated? She loves Mom so much. I don't want eldest sister to be heartbroken. My eldest sister sat in her wheelchair. I saw her expression suddenly change drastically. Her hands gripped the sides of the wheelchair tightly, trembling with rage. Song Jingnyeon was standing very close to her. He immediately sensed her emotional shift. The corners of his mouth couldn't help but almost curl into a smile. He thought my eldest sister was feeling indignant on his behalf, that she was angry at me. Song Jingnyeon probably felt the time was ripe and hurriedly spoke up. Lu Huiye, if you dislike me that much, I'll leave this house. Being able to come to this house and enjoy this past month of happiness, having a dad, a mom, sisters, and a younger brother, I'm already very happy. I don't dare ask for anything more, and I don't want to make you unhappy, Lu Huai. If you're unhappy, no matter how much I like this house, I won't feel happy either. These heartfelt words from Song Jingnyeon instantly moved everyone. The relatives and friends in the house began criticizing me one after another on his behalf. Song Jingnyeon, seeing so many people siding with him, grew even more confident. He said, "Everyone, please don't make things difficult for Lu Huai anymore. I don't want him to be sad." Me being in this house, he paused for a moment, looking a bit sorrowful. He spoke up saying, "I was adopted after all. I never belonged to this family in the first place. Everyone, please stop scolding Lu Huai. If he doesn't like me, I should just leave. I brought you home." "So you are a part of this family?" Mom looked resolute, singing the same tune as Song Jingnyeon. "I have nothing that belongs to this house," Song Jingnyeon said painfully. "I have nothing. I've never made any contributions to this family." "How can you be so insecure?" Mom said helplessly. "Mom, please take me back to the orphanage tonight. That's where I truly belong. What do I have to do to prove that you have a place in our home? That you have a status here? What do I have to do to make you feel that our whole family welcomes you?" Mom looked very anxious, her face showing how desperately she wanted him to stay, but unable to think of a better way. Anxious like an ant on a hot pan. If I hadn't experienced this once before, I really would have been fooled by her. It's a waste that Mom didn't become an award-winning actress. For over 10 years, her acting in our Lu family has been absolutely flawless. Mom is actually not my biological mother. My biological mother died in an accident. When I was less than a year old, Mom was just a low-level manager in Dad's company. After finding out Dad was a widower, she started pursuing him fiercely. Before that, Dad didn't pay any attention to her at all, because he was deeply devoted to my biological mother. But he couldn't withstand her tactics. Mom started approaching me and my two sisters. She treated us so well that my sisters, Dad, and I all misunderstood her intentions. When I was 3, I had a severe high fever. After my biological mother died, Dad had to support the company all by himself. That day, there was an emergency at the company, and he couldn't leave. That night, it was Mom who volunteered to take me to the hospital. When Dad finished his work and rushed to the hospital, he saw Mom holding me, asleep on the hospital bed. For 2 whole years, Dad was finally moved by Mom. Even our relatives, including those from my biological mother's side, all advised him to accept her. Dad finally let his guard down, so they got married. When they married, Mom even publicly swore an oath, saying she would love Dad for the rest of her life, saying she would take care of me and my sisters, saying that for her entire life, she would only have us 3 as her children. Mom stayed true to her word. For over 10 years, she never had another child. There was a time when Dad had the idea of having a child with Mom, also because he wanted to leave her with her own flesh and blood. But Mom refused, saying that we 3 kids were her flesh and blood, and she was very satisfied. Seeing her so resolute, Dad didn't force the issue anymore, but his feelings for Mom clearly grew deeper day by day. Later on, my 2 sisters and I all started calling her Mom. In the eyes of outsiders, Mom was loyal and great. No one could have imagined that all of this was her evil scheme. She didn't have a child with Dad because she already had a son with her childhood sweetheart. She also didn't want to have any ties to Dad because of a child. From the very beginning, she wanted to destroy my family. In my past life, she actually succeeded. She stole Dad's company, forcing him to jump off a building. She left my crippled eldest sister to fend for herself abroad. She watched my second sister get tortured to death by illness. And she personally pushed me off the rooftop, killing me. At this moment, someone in the hall suddenly shouted, "Isn't this very simple? Song Jingnian doesn't feel secure in this house, so give him a sense of security. Give him shares in the Lu group. Once he has shares, who could say he isn't a member of the Lu family?" The person who just spoke had already been bribed by Mom. "I can't take them. I won't take them." Song Jingnian hurriedly refused, with an expression that was both understanding and aggrieved. In my past life, these shares were given by Dad. Dad, out of pity for Song Jingnian, gave him 10% of the shares, and Dad only had 30% in his hands at the time. After giving them to Song Jingnian, he only had 20% left. The remaining shares, 20% was in my eldest sister's hands, 20% was in Mom's hands, and 30% was scattered among outside shareholders. Mom used the 20% in her hands and Song Jingnian's 10%, then secretly bought up some shares from other shareholders, and schemed to force my sister to hand over 10%, to become the largest shareholder of the Lu group. This time, Dad wasn't here. I saw Mom set her sights on my eldest sister. She said, wanking, "I've never begged you for anything. You also know the shares in my hands are so I can have a better standing in the company and share the burden of work for your dad. Right now, you're temporarily recovering and not working. Just give 10% to Jingnian first. I'll find a way to make it up to you later." She said it so casually, as if it were a matter of course. She didn't think my sister would refuse her. How could she refuse her? Just now, my eldest sister humiliated me to protect Song Jingnian. Her giving the shares to Song Jingnian would be the best lesson for me. She thought my eldest sister couldn't refuse, but she didn't notice that Dad and my second sister had come downstairs. Uncle Wu must have gone to report to them. Dad and my second sister were afraid I'd be at a disadvantage, so they hurriedly ran down. So, at this exact moment, the whole family heard my inner voice. If eldest sister gives the shares to Song Jingnian, Mom will be one step closer to stealing our family's fortune. Actually, eldest sister's legs aren't incurable. It's just that Mom never cared about treating her at all. The doctors abroad were intentionally arranged by her. I'm so conflicted. If they knew Mom did all these things, just so she could marry her childhood sweetheart, would this family completely fall apart? I saw the way the whole family looked at Mom. Had completely changed. My eldest sister was so furious she looked like she was about to burst into flames. At this moment, Song Jingnian was still intentionally declining, putting on an act in front of my eldest sister. "Mom, I won't take them. How could I take eldest sister's shares?" "Eldest sister, don't listen to Mom. I wouldn't be so unreasonable." Saying that, he even proactively reached out to grab my eldest sister's arm. As a result, the moment he touched her, there was a loud smack. He was shoved hard by my eldest sister, tumbling pathetically to the ground, leaving everyone stunned. Even Song Jingnian was so shocked he forgot to cry out in pain. Mom was the first to react, her face full of disbelief. Lu wanking, "What are you doing? How could you treat Jingnian like that? Did you take the wrong medicine?" My eldest sister sneered, looking at Mom with eyes that looked like she wanted to hack her into 100 pieces. I hurriedly held my eldest sister back, thinking to myself, eldest sister doesn't have any evidence to accuse Mom right now. No one will believe her. She'll just make everyone think our family is bullying Song Jingnian, ruining our family's reputation just for Mom, and Song Jingnian isn't worth it. There are security cameras in the house. We just need to check the footage to know if Song Jingnian is framing me. I saw my sister trying hard to restrain herself. Mom was still nagging and scolding, saying that my eldest sister's temperament had changed after the accident. The others also thought Mom made sense and sided with her. Until my eldest sister ordered, "Uncle Wu, pull up the security footage of the hall from just now." The moment Song Jingnian heard security footage, he panicked. Terrified, he hurriedly looked at Mom. Mom was also a bit flustered. She said, "Why are you pulling up the security footage?" My eldest sister ignored her. Mom roared furiously. "I said no checking the cameras. I'm the one who makes the decisions in this house." Dad spoke up, his voice full of authority, making both of them freeze. "Go pull up the footage." Song Jingnian, seeing that the situation was unsalvageable, hurriedly scrambled to his feet. "If eldest sister doesn't welcome me, and the whole family doesn't welcome me, then I'll just leave. Before my brother's innocence is proven, no one is allowed to leave." My eldest sister shouted. Even though her legs were crippled now, she was still the heir personally cultivated by Dad. Her aura was in no way inferior to Dad's. It was just that the accident had temporarily made her depressed. Song Jingnian didn't dare speak up anymore. Mom tried to open her mouth several times but ultimately had to stay silent. The footage was pulled up. Everyone saw it clear as day. Song Jingnian had intentionally torn his own pants and then played the victim, framing me. The situation instantly reversed. Even if Song Jingnian wasn't cursed to death by everyone right now, no matter how thick his skin was, he'd still feel incredibly humiliated. Take him away. Dad didn't bother saying much more. I never want to see his face again. No, I'm not leaving. Song Jingnian, hearing that he had to leave, completely broke down. He had just gotten to live in this luxurious house, just gotten the status of a young master of the Liu family. He couldn't bear to leave, nor was he willing to. Not to mention, over the years, Mom was afraid of being exposed, so she didn't dare provide too much for Song Jingnian and his dad. The luxury Song Jingnian enjoyed in our house was completely different from when he lived with his dad. I'll never do it again, Dad. Please give me one more chance, Song Jingnian cried miserably. If everyone hadn't already seen his true colors, they might have been fooled by him again. Dad didn't even spare him a glance. Take him away. Don't let him dirty this house. Mom Song Jingnian pleaded with Mom again. Mom, of course, wasn't stupid. She knew Song Jingnian was useless now, so she decisively cut all ties with him immediately. I really didn't expect you to be this kind of person. I misjudged you. I'll take you away right now. Saying that, she turned to Dad. I really didn't expect him to be such a good actor. I'll take him away immediately. Please don't be mad. Dad chuckled softly. Looking at Mom now was no different from looking at a dancing clown. Mom thought Dad was just angry in the moment, so she didn't think much of it and took Song Jingnian away immediately. Even though Mom loved her childhood sweetheart and this biological son very much, she valued money even more. Otherwise, she wouldn't have abandoned her husband and child for money. So after Song Jingnian was kicked out this time, he wouldn't have a good life. Mom would definitely pin all the blame on him. Of course, to my family, that wasn't important. What was important was how to leave Mom with nothing and make her face the retribution she deserved. After Mom took Song Jingnian away, the first thing she did in front of all the guests was apologize to my whole family. Mom acted very remorseful and also portrayed herself as very innocent. She said she didn't know Song Jingnian was that kind of person either. She was also fooled by him. She had treated Song Jingnian so well, so her feelings were deeply hurt. Dad just reiterated, the one who suffered the most is Lu Huai. He was almost framed by Song Jingnian. Mom nodded repeatedly. Yes, Lu Huai suffered the most. It's Mom's fault. Mom apologizes to you, okay? Mom promises I'll never be soft-hearted and adopt another child again. You are Mom's only son. I wanted to sneer but held it back. Dad said, since you've caused harm, a few words of comfort lack sincerity. You should offer some practical compensation. Well then, Lu Huai, tell Mom what you want. Mom will give you anything, Mom said with a face full of sincerity. Anything? I asked her innocently. Of course. Has Mom ever broken a promise? She thought she could be like before. Just give me a little piece of candy and buy my heart. The shares of the Lu Group in your hands. I blurted it out directly. I saw Mom's expression change visibly right before my eyes. After a long while she stammered, you're only 14. Shares aren't very practical for you. But just now you said you'd give Song Jingnian shares. Could it be that in your heart, I'm still not as important as Song Jingnian? I pretended to be hurt, asking her as if it were a casual remark. Could it be that Song Jingnian is your biological son? This sentence directly terrified Mom. How could that be? Don't talk nonsense. You are my only son. Then why were you willing to give Song Jingnian shares, but you don't want to give me my shares? It was to help your dad at the company. No need. Dad already said. Wanking just agreed to go work at the company. Lu Wanking? It wasn't that Mom didn't believe it, but she was certain my eldest sister would be depressed forever. As the eldest daughter of the house, I should shoulder the family's responsibilities. My eldest sister enunciated every word, making Mom grit her teeth. She was clearly still unwilling, but she couldn't find a reason to refuse. Can you give me the shares now, Mom? You just said you'd agree to anything I asked. I stared at her, full of expectation. There were so many people in the hall. The guests were all looking at her. If she refused, she'd lose all face. She gritted her teeth. She didn't dare turn hostile right now. In her view, if she turned hostile, she'd only have this 20% of shares. If she didn't, she still had a chance to turn the tables. She had spent so many years getting to this point. How could she be willing to give up? She said, fine. Mom had to bite the bullet. I asked joyfully, are you planning to give me all the shares you're holding? Giving you 10% is enough. Just now, I told your eldest sister to give Song Jingnian that same amount. Mom bargained. In your heart, are we? Am I really not more important than Song Jingnian? I said, looking hurt. Mom was speechless for a long time. She clearly didn't want to hand them over. Dad said, when you took my shares back then, didn't you keep saying you wouldn't take them? That ultimately, they'd all be left for the children? Now, it's just giving them to Lu Huai in advance to compensate for his broken heart. And you're unhappy about it? Mom was cornered by Dad, unable to back down. There were so many relatives and friends here. All of them were witnessing this. Whether she wanted to maintain her image as a good woman or not depended on a single thought. If she maintained her image, her plan of over 10 years would go down the drain. But if she didn't maintain her image, she'd still only have this 20%. She wouldn't be satisfied. Dad didn't rush her, giving Mom time to think it through carefully. After all, he wasn't the one in an awkward position. Beads of sweat rolled down Mom's forehead. The people around started whispering, who is truly without ulterior motives? She just talked too big before. Now it's a bit of a slap in the face. If she really treats her stepson like her own, why would she care about these shares? So selfish. Mom, standing in front of so many people, ultimately couldn't throw away her pride. I saw a flash of viciousness in her eyes before it instantly disappeared. The next moment, she suddenly acted very generous. How could I be unhappy? When I took these shares, I already said, they were just to hold on to for you kids. I was just considering whether I should give Mengjiao 10%. If Lu Wangqing and Lu Huai already have shares, then Mengjiao shouldn't be left out either. I don't need them. Just give them to Lu Huai. Lu Mengjiao directly refused. Everyone knew her intentions. In her heart, she thought my second sister was the easiest to control. The hard work my second sister was showing now was just an act. She wouldn't keep it up for more than a few days. If Mengjiao doesn't want them, then I'll give them to Lu Huai, Mom smoothly said. Thank you, Mom. I happily accepted them. Dad didn't delay for a single minute. He directly called the company's lawyer over and signed the share transfer documents right on the spot. Mom probably wouldn't understand even if she died. She originally brought Song Jingyan here to lend her a hand, but unexpectedly ended up losing everything. She must be green with regret right now. Of course, for my whole family, this still wasn't enough. In my past life, she ruined our family. In this life, we naturally have to make her pay back tenfold. After that, our family returned to normal. But it was clear that Mom was starting to panic. She lost her shares and no longer had control over the company. Dad and my eldest sister went to work normally. My eldest sister even made time for physical therapy. My second sister worked out and studied like crazy. I was still the one doted on by the whole family. My family was developing in a direction that was getting better and better, but it went completely against Mom's wishes. Finally, she couldn't hold back anymore. She used the excuse that a relative in her hometown had an emergency and needed to go back for a visit, then left. The very night she left, she secretly rented a car, drove dozens of kilometers back to the villa, and took advantage of the fact that our whole family was fast asleep. She set a fire, wanting to burn our villa to the ground. It was past 3 in the morning. Everyone was asleep. None of the neighbors noticed either. By the time the property management discovered it, the flames had engulfed the entire villa. It took the firefighters all night to completely extinguish the fire. Mom received the notice the next day and hurriedly rushed back. As soon as she arrived, she fell to her knees, crying miserably. Outsiders who saw her couldn't help but feel pity. They stepped forward one by one to comfort her. Mom acted as if she couldn't hear anything, utterly devastated. If I had known, I wouldn't have left. If I had known, I would have stayed and died with you. You're all dead. What's the point of me living alone? She acted very convincingly. No one saw the smug smile hidden in her eyes. Now that my whole family was dead, she was the sole heir. Right at the moment she was feeling smug, I stood behind her and called out to her. Mom! I saw Mom's body tremble. She shakily turned her head and saw our whole family standing safe and sound behind her. She was so terrified she fell straight back. You turned into ghosts? We're still alive and kicking, I said. Our whole family went on a beach trip yesterday. We just got back. You guys weren't home? Mom instantly became agitated. The fury in her eyes truly couldn't be contained anymore. She wished she could kill us right then and there. No, we weren't, I replied, asking innocently, why did our house turn out like this? Mom's eyes started darting around. She was trying hard to restrain herself. A few days ago, I heard there were stray cats. I think I installed one at the door. A few security cameras, let me check. Saying that, I was about to take out my phone to check the security footage. Mom immediately panicked. She sprang up from the ground, snatched my phone, and smashed it crazily onto the ground. Everyone stared at her. Mom smiled and said, "It's good that you're all okay. Nothing else matters. As long as our family is together, that's all that matters. Our family is indeed all together. But you won't be a part of it anymore," Dad said bluntly. "What? Hubby, what are you talking about?" Mom was so panicked, she couldn't hide it anymore. Dad said, "The things you've done, aren't you the one who knows best? We've handed all the evidence over to the police. Next, prepare to face the punishment of the law." "What are you saying? What are you talking about?" Mom went crazy. She went crazy, but still wouldn't admit to what she had done. "The video of you setting fire to the villa last night, I've already given it to the police. Look, the police are here." The moment Mom saw the police, she bolted. But how could she outrun the police? In the blink of an eye, she was pinned to the ground, looking incredibly pathetic. She was escorted into the police car. She screamed at us, "How did you find out? How did you find out? I was so careful, how could I be discovered?" She couldn't understand where she went wrong. She couldn't accept that after enduring for so many years, she ultimately brought about her own destruction. Because ultimately, there were no casualties. Mom was only sentenced to 10 years in prison. After she went to prison, I still went to visit her. The moment she saw me, she was very emotional. She called out, "Lu Huai, you still love Mom, right? Wait until Mom gets out of prison. Mom will take you to the amusement park. Mom will buy you delicious food." "I don't love you," I cut her off. "It sounds disgusting." "Then why are you here? Didn't you come to visit me because you couldn't bear to be apart from me? I came to watch you make a fool of yourself." A cruel smile curled on my lips. Such a smile shouldn't have appeared on the face of a 15-year-old boy. Mom looked utterly horrified. "You? Who are you?" "You're not Lu Huai? How could I not be? I'm just not what you imagined." I looked at her, my smile deepening. "Mom, you must really want to know why. After all your meticulous calculations, you ended up with absolutely nothing, right? Why?" Mom was incredibly agitated, because I looked at her, enunciating every word. God punishes all evildoers. Otherwise, why would he give me a chance to be reborn? Mom thought I was messing with her. She almost sprang up to hit me, but the moment she moved, she was pinned down by the guards. The pain instantly made her soften her voice and beg. Seeing her like this was truly satisfying. I said, "Mom, regardless of whether we're blood-related or not, we were mother and son for a time. Let me give you a gift." Mom looked at me, a hint of expectation in her eyes. I enunciated every word, telling her, "Song Jingnian is not your biological son. When you gave birth, he was swapped by that wonderful childhood sweetheart of yours. Who knows where your real son is suffering right now? To think that for all these years you've been raising someone else's child. Dad even offered to have a child with you before, but you refused. It's truly both pitiful and tragic." "Impossible, impossible." Mom didn't believe it. But her entire being had completely collapsed. "Wait until you get out of prison, then go find the answer yourself. It'll definitely be dramatic then." Of course, that's no longer any of my concern. In the end, how ruthlessly Mom will take her revenge, how cruelly she'll treat Song Jingnian, that's all her business. At most, I'll just watch another joke unfold. I walked out of the prison and looked at the vast, clear, blue sky outside, smiling peacefully. Next, I'm going to fully enjoy the warmth of family that I didn't get to experience in my past life. I sincerely pray that all the good things in this world will always be by our side.